I'm CJ.
And I'm Robin.
Welcome to the Cozy Kitchen.
Come and make yourself comfortable here with us by the fire.
Let's chat about baking, friendship, and cozy hobbies. If there's time and enough tea, maybe we'll even unravel some fun backstories.
I mean, there should always be enough tea.
Well, hello.
Hi there, CJ. Now, I know that we've got the lovely fire crackling sounds in the background, but you know what else I'm hearing lately?
What else are you hearing?
I'm hearing I'm hearing birds chirping. I'm hearing a nice spring breeze flow through the trees that are now starting to sprout with all kinds of beautiful blossoms.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that it's fair to say spring has arrived
Oh, yeah.
and it is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And, what better a way to celebrate this changing of the guards, this brand new season, than by hosting a fun little tea party with you.
Oh,
I feel like today would be a fun day to do that. What do you think?
I think this is a great idea. Just the other day, I was looking outside in my yard, and I think the butterflies were having an orgy party. Um,
Wow. What a great way to ring in the season.
so
An
it's definitely
X-rated butterfly party.
it's that time of year. The birds and the
Perfect.
bees.
Love it. Love it. I mean, that's, the birds and the bees are doing something, so the butterflies might as well get in on it too.
Yeah. So yes, today let's set out the table, the tablecloth,
Mhm.
the teacups and teapots.
Yep, open up the French doors out into the garden where the sun is sparkling and
Mhm.
there's a nice cool breeze that still is kind of carrying a little bit of the winter vibes, but it's nice because as it flows across your skin, it kind of soothes the very bright sunlight that's cascading down from above. I'm sorry, I'm feeling very poetic today.
We are both writers. Um,
Yes.
so that breeze is also bringing in this lavender scent that is just, really like, lavender, you don't think of it as a cooking substance. Um, but
That's true.
I love making a lavender ice cream.
Lavender ice cream. I've heard of more floral ice creams, even herbal ice creams, but I've never tried any of them. So, do you churn it fresh? Like, do you have like an ice cream maker that you'll make this lavender ice cream? And
Oh,
how
yeah.
do you do it?
Well, it's like making tea, but basically you seep it like you with the lavender, dried lavender,
Hmm.
and you seep it in the cream, uh,
Hmm.
to make lavender ice cream. I mean, obviously, there's a lot more involved with like eggs and stuff, and then you actually churn it. But it's so like counterintuitive. You think of lavender and you're like, okay, this is gonna be soapy. Uh,
Hmm.
but I have made it, and not only that, made a picky little kid eat it and love it. So it is that good.
Amazing. And if I've heard anything from the Great British Baking Show, it's the fact that there's a fine line to walk with them, right? You can either way overdo it, and like you said, it will taste like soap, or you could be a little bit too careful with it and not add nearly enough, and so you don't really get the flavor. So I feel like that takes a lot of talent to balance that flavor very well. And I feel like for ice cream especially, probably the fact that it's so rich, that probably helps to kind of ease you into that flavor. Is that
Yes.
would that be a correct assumption to make?
Yes, I agree. Like the richness of it really cuts the, I guess, like sharp floral nature. Uh,
Mhm. And you
I
don't have like bits of the lavender in
no,
the ice cream, do you?
no.
You just that gets strained out.
Yes, that gets strained out. So it's very smooth, very rich, sweet, of course.
Mhm.
It's a great way to start a springtime tea party.
I love it. I'm already kind of picturing the way that your table would look. I picture like nice white tablecloth. I'm picturing those like old-fashioned cups of, like that you could have like nice big scoops of ice cream in it, maybe
Mhm,
some kind of something sprinkled on top,
mhm,
whether it's maybe like some kind of whipped cream or some kind of sprinkles or something.
mhm.
So I feel like that would be such a lovely addition, and like along with the lavender ice cream, I can picture bunches of lavender in just vases on the table throughout. So that would be so
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah. So what would
Very
be on your table?
well, I love strawberries. I'm all about the strawberries this time of year, and it's definitely a flavor that I kind of miss throughout the winter because it's so bright and it's so citrusy. And so I really, once this time of year rolls around, I am a strawberry fiend.
Mhm,
So, one thing that I think I would have on my table is a recipe that I found in the baking Bible,
mhm,
and it's called a strawberry rhubarb upside down cake,
mhm,
and very similar to how you would make a pineapple upside down cake, except this has strawberries and rhubarb in it, and it's like the top of it is just this very pretty, bright red topping of, the strawberries and the rhubarb, but it's also very sweet and the cake is spongy,
mhm,
and so I'm just kind of picturing that as one of the bigger dishes on my table, just on, like, a crystalline cake stand of sorts.
mhm, mhm.
Maybe have, like, a couple of fresh strawberries decorating the top of it. Maybe have some, like, dollops of whipped cream on it.
So good.
So
That
yes.
sounds so good right now.
Oh, I'm telling you what. Yeah, so it definitely have some good stuff for the tea party. And speaking of tea, do you have any good tea that you would pair with the kinds of things that were on your table? So you already have your lavender ice cream.
Mhm.
What would be going with it? Like what other accoutrement would be part of your table?
So I'm thinking of this bergamot tea. It's a bergamot black
Ooh,
tea.
I
Uh,
love bergamot. Mhm.
yeah, so I think that would pair pretty well with your cake as
Mhm.
well as the ice cream. That's the one that I'm thinking about. I also like a good green tea, jasmine being my favorite,
Mine
flavor.
too. Mhm.
Awesome, yeah. So, I would, also add that to the table. How about you?
I was just about to say I was gonna buy a bag of this jasmine pearl tea that I tried once in Chinatown in San Francisco, and I loved it. It has such a delicate, light flavor, and I love seeing the little pearls, these little,
Mhm,
they're like just the dried jasmine tea leaves, and they're curled up into little balls. And it's so fun to see them kind of just unwind in the water and slowly drift around.
mhm,
So yeah, definitely jasmine pearl tea. I'm gonna say something maybe controversial, but I don't like a whole lot in my green tea. Green
mm,
tea for me is something that I prefer to have. I don't want any honey, I don't want any cream or milk
mhm,
or anything like that. If I'm doing like a spice tea like for winter, that I want it to be a little bit more robust.
mhm.
And I think that any kind of creamer
Yeah,
helps to round out the spicy nature of a lot of those teas that I prefer in
yeah,
winter.
yeah.
But this is a time of, like, I want something a bit more delicate. I want to continue that floral delightfulness that we would get from the lavender ice cream, for instance, or, even strawberries can be kind of floral in a way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would very much love to have something like that. And I think in addition, I wanna bulk up the strawberry excitement by having some kind of strawberry lemon scones. I think that that would be a delicious addition to
Mhm,
our tea
mhm,
party, and just
mhm,
I like
mhm.
when they're tiny. I don't like giant big scones because 'cause they're
Uh-huh,
intimidating.
uh-huh. So, okay, when you say strawberry lemon, like, how are they being made?
It would basically be just a typical vanilla scone, and I'm very peculiar about how lemon is integrated in if I'm incorporating any kind of zest in my desserts at all.
Mhm,
Instead of just creaming the butter and sugar together,
uh-huh,
and it's different with scones. You don't really cream the butter in
yeah,
with the sugar with
right,
scones. You want it to be cold.
yep.
But for this one, I would take however much sugar I would need
Uh-huh.
and mix it together with the lemon zest, because I think when you do that, you get a lot more of the oils out of the peel and the lemon zest and
Oh,
everything.
that's a great tip.
Yeah, so I feel like I would definitely be doing that because I
Uh-huh.
would want the lemon to be in the scones as
Yes.
well as in the glaze that would go on top of the
Mm,
scones.
okay, okay, and
Mhm.
then how would you incorporate the strawberries? Because strawberry's pretty wet.
It is. So I've seen recipes where you can do it with fresh strawberries, and with scones, it might be a little bit better to do it that way because scones by nature can be kind of dry and crumbly.
Mm,
'Cause normally, if I'm doing any kind of baking with strawberries, especially if it's like a cake or a muffin or even a cookie, something that
yeah,
tends to be a little wetter,
yep.
I prefer to use dehydrated strawberries
Mm,
because
okay.
they first of all, they pack a whole lot more flavor because there's less water to, you know, absorb all the flavor, I guess. So they're a lot more flavorful, but then you also don't have to worry about the extra water that comes with them.
Yeah.
But I think that for the scones, I would probably try and use fresh strawberries and maybe kind of pat them off so that they're
Mhm.
not quite
Yeah,
so very.
and maybe cut down on any liquids that you need to add, like milk.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. You still want it to be the right texture and everything.
Yeah.
But and I think that, whole strawberries or fresh strawberries would be kind of a nice thing to bite into. I don't know. So
Yeah, well, that sounds delicious, and, like,
Yay.
I could tell we've, like, really know each other and we're so compatible because
Mhm.
the first thought I also had was scones. Uh,
Nice.
so
What
well,
scones would you be bringing?
well, your scone sounds delicious, so we can keep with the scone that you brought.
Mhm.
But what I would add is lemon curd.
Oh, do go on. Please do. I am you don't understand, CJ. I am a sucker for lemon curd. If there is a cookie or a cupcake or a lemon meringue pie, I am on top of it. How do you make your lemon curd?
So the r recently, my brother-in-law, he has a lemon tree, and it has gone bananas. He came over and he brings me this bag of lemons, and he's like, "I don't know what to do with this. Can you do something about this?"
Help
And
me,
it's like
please. These lemons are out of control.
yes, exactly, this huge sack of lemons, and I was like, "Oh, that's easy. I'll just make lemon curd." So, that's the plan. I'm going to I mean, it's that time of season.
Mhm.
Lemons are coming out, and so, um, a great way to use up a lot of lemons is to make lemon curd, and all you do is juice it. You use a ton of egg yolks. I mean
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
buying a dozen, maybe 2 dozen, depending on how many lemons you have.
Mhm.
You are basically cracking a lot of eggs, separating them, and using up all the egg yolks. So you're gonna have to eat a lot of either egg white omelets in the morning, or you're gonna have to make some meringue or, you can find something to do with your egg whites.
Some macarons maybe if you're feeling extra fancy.
Yes, yes. Oh, that would be great for, our tea time table.
Yeah.
Um, some yeah, I mean, we could do
Lavender
lemon
lemon macarons.
oh, wow. That's an interesting flavor. I have not thought of that, huh.
I
Maybe
feel
we'll
like it could
do
be
that.
good. I mean,
Yes.
floral plus, like, kinda tangy sour lemon? I don't maybe it could work, I don't know.
Could work. Yeah, so, uh, the table is getting saturated with lemons and and, lavender. Let's see, what's a good springtime macaron,
Um,
flavor?
maybe blueberry?
Oh,
Or blueberry's more
um,
summer. I think blueberries might be more of a summery fruit.
yeah, how about, like, a raspberry? Like a
Oh,
yeah,
mhm.
that I
Yeah,
think raspberry might be a good one, and
that would be
I think
delicious.
unfortunately, I feel like with the global food, like, distribution, like, my sense of the seasons is a little off, you get
Mhm.
raspberries all year round.
Yeah, but they're more expensive than certain times of the year, so
Mhm.
you try not to get them, especially whenever you can get, like, frozen, berries and stuff like that. Yeah, I kinda can get them anytime. But, yeah, I feel like raspberries would be a beautiful accompaniment because like, it goes so well with lemon and strawberry and lavender, just I feel like it would complement everything very beautifully.
Yes, yeah, and then you can also make a raspberry tart. I love raspberry tarts.
Oh, that yeah, that would be delicious. I don't think I've ever tried making a raspberry tart before. Is it like is it like raspberry all throughout? Is it layered so you've got like some cream, some raspberry, like or some kind of chocolate or something? Like how like when you say raspberry tart, help me picture it.
Yes, so it's a pretty shal the one that I make, it's a very shallow dish. So you make the tart shell first, and then I like your addition of chocolate. I haven't done that before, but that
Mhm.
sounds really delicious. Maybe even, like, coat the shell with a coating of chocolate, that sounds
Yes,
delicious.
that
Um,
would be great.
yeah, and then all it
Mhm.
is just, like, a layer of pastry cream, and then
Mhm.
just ver put all like, just fill the top of the pastry cream with a layer of raspberries, and fresh raspberries.
Nice. That would also just be so pretty
Mhm,
on a nice, like, spring tea time table. Just I
yeah.
don't know, like, there's something about, like, the beautiful edges of a tart pan and everything. The edges are, like, ruffled almost, and it just
Mhm.
I don't know, it adds such a beautiful element to a tea time table.
Yeah.
And I would also say, I feel like now we need to go a little bit into, like, a savory territory because we got a lot of sweet stuff, a lot of berries, and I have an idea. Let me know what you think of this.
Mhm.
So, when I was visiting my friends in North Carolina a couple weeks ago, my one friend who is an excellent baker, she's done a lot of really cool stuff with sourdough. She has made sourdough crackers with the discard of her sourdough.
Oh.
And so I'm thinking, because she did hers with, I think, cheddar and jalapeno, and
Uh-huh.
that sounds great, but that to me is more of a summer flavor. For this, I would probably try and do sourdough crackers with some kind of rosemary, parmesan, something to that effect.
That sounds delicious. Okay, so I have more questions.
Yes.
How does she make these crackers with the sourdough discard?
That's a good question. I'm trying to remember what she said. She's so I think she basically she used the sourdough starter, I think all-purpose flour, maybe a little bit of water, and then I think she shredded the cheese
Mhm,
into that dough
mhm,
and rolled it out, and then she let it bake, and before she put it in the oven, she cut the squares and everything, but she didn't cut the whole way through.
mhm.
And so then she baked it for a little while, and then she went over it again to really separate the crackers.
Uh-huh.
I think how she was able to get the nice edges and everything. I'm
Interest
going to have to double check. There are probably a bunch of different ways to make these, but it sounded like a good recipe. I don't know.
Yeah, like, you need to get this recipe, and I wanna try this.
Yeah, I was like, "This sounds amazing." Because you know what? Crackers talk about stuff that you find at the grocery store that is expensive. Like, sometimes, like, a box of crackers does get expensive, and
Mhm,
sourdough discard is already there. You're
mhm.
already like, you need to use it,
Yep.
so might as well, you
Yeah,
know?
that sounds so interesting, like, because I always feel bad discarding the sourdough as I'm feeding it, right? And
Yeah.
that sounds delicious with, like, a Gruyere cheese on the table.
Yes. Yeah, I 100% agree. I feel like for those kinds of crackers, having a harder cheese would
Mhm.
probably be a good way to go. I'm sure there's a way you can do it with a softer cheese like brie or mozzarella,
Yeah.
but I think that what I would want is, like you said, Gruyere, Parmesan, cheddar, like, or white cheddar would be
Mhm,
really good too.
mhm. Like
So
a
yeah,
farmhouse white cheddar. So good.
yes. Oh my god, so good. So yeah, just a lot of really good options for something savory, and you could put extra cheese on top, so there
Yep,
we go.
yep. The other thing that, savory department, I like a good tea sandwich. So,
Ooh, yes, please
thinking
go on.
I'm thinking, like, dill with cream cheese and a little sliced cucumber and these
Mhm.
little delicate tea sandwiches that must not have crust. I cannot stress
Mhm.
enough, it can't have crust on these things.
I agree, and now what kind of bread? Are we talking whole wheat? Are we talking just plain, white bread? Would it be like a sourdough kinda deal?
I'm talking about, I'm gonna go fancy. I'm gonna do a brioche.
Oh, ooh, yes. Yeah, uh-huh. 'Cause, well, brioche is so buttery, I feel like it would lend itself very well to something that would be kind of lighter, so, yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
10 out of 10. Mhm. Love it. So you mentioned it would be cream cheese and dill. Would there be cucumbers on this sandwich? Would there be any kind of veggie? Because I feel like dill and cream cheese are already we're already halfway to some kind of like a ranch situation.
Yes, yes.
Would there be any veggies or anything else on the sandwich?
So, I like to make, multiple flavors of tea sandwich. So,
Ooh.
for the dill and cucumber one actually, that one I like to use just plain white bread. That
Mhm.
one, aesthetically, I think that would look prettier, white
Yeah.
bread with the cream cheese, it's all white, and then you've got flecks of green, so it's very
Mhm.
springtime, look. Tomato sounds like a good idea, and then what I do with tomato would be tomato, basil, although
Ooh,
basil's more of a summer herb, so that
mhm.
might go into the summer.
That
But
would
if
be
we
good.
did have some early, uh, early batch of tomatoes and basil, that's where I'd go with that, plus
Mhm.
cheese, um, like
Nice.
a Gruyere or a Comte, um,
'Cause
and
I hear tomatoes and basil, and I think of, like, mozzarella. I think basically like a
mm.
caprese almost.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Mhm.
That would be a really good combo. But yeah, how about, like, do you have any tea sandwich favorites that you like to go to?
Trying to think of any good tea sandwiches, and I can't really think of any. I feel like just the dill and cream cheese one would be so good, and I
Mm,
think I would like to see your sandwich and raise you a salad. I feel like this would be a great time for a salad. I feel like it would be so nice to have just a burst of green just
mhm,
on the table as well.
mhm,
So I'm gonna go with spinach and arugula as the base, or even like a mixed greens kind of situation,
mhm,
but arugula needs to be in the conversation,
mhm.
because it's so light, but it's also got like a bite, it's got like a peppery
Yeah,
bite to it.
yes.
And then I would like to have some kind of freshness in there, maybe more strawberries. Also, I could see some kind of a bell pepper, and then either feta or some kind of like a gorgonzola or some kind of a blue cheese situation,
Mhm.
and then some kind of balsamic vinaigrette. Oh, and then slivered almonds would be
Mm,
accompanying this as well. So,
perfect. Yeah, I
yeah.
like the touch of, the texture of having the nuts in there.
I feel like you need something kinda crunchy,
Mhm.
and a little salty as well. I think
Yes, yes.
it'd be nice to have a salad along with the sandwich and all the other good stuff. But we think we've got a pretty nice spread here. Kind of just to set the scene a little bit more, what kind of a way would you imagine the table setting? If you're gonna have a nice fancy little tea party, especially in spring, I think the
Mhm,
table setting is equally as important. So what kind of things would you add to our just a table in general? Like any specific patterns of linens, any
mhm,
kind of specific plateware,
mhm,
anything like that.
mhm.
I just, let's set the scene.
Yes, let's set the scene. So, definitely white, like, china, of
Mhm.
some sort. I have a cute set that's a white teapot with, like, butterflies and little bees
Oh,
and
pretty.
ladybugs with, like,
Mhm.
flowers. That one I would like to bring to the table. Linen-wise, you got me right there, like, it's all white. Um,
Mhm.
so
Yep.
so the napkins would be white and maybe, like, with a little embroidered, like, flower on each corner.
Oh,
Um,
pretty. Oh, I love that. Mhm. 10
yeah.
out of 10. That would be adorable. And also, yeah, like it's just the time for white linens. It's very pretty, it's clean, it's light and airy.
Mhm.
So, I think that that would make for a really beautiful table setting. And I would also like to add in maybe like some candles. They don't have to be
Mm,
scented because I feel like scented candles can kind of throw off
yeah.
the taste buds a little bit.
Mhm.
But I would love like some really pretty, maybe like brass candlesticks. And I've seen candles with they've like within the wax are these really beautiful like little flowers.
Uh-huh.
So that
Oh,
would be very pretty.
yeah.
And then maybe some kind of, I don't know, like trying to think of what else would go. Like, definitely would have to, like, have some nice, like, silverware and everything too, because
Mhm.
that's just that it completes the
Yeah.
whole setting.
Yes.
I have always been a sucker for very standard, very typical, like, posh teacup kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So, whatever teacups would match with the kind of, like, teapot and tableware and everything that you were thinking of,
Yeah.
have that and then have, like, a little cup and saucer with it, and
Mhm.
maybe they could have butterflies on them too. I feel like
Mhm.
we need butterflies present at this situation. So
Yeah, yeah. And then with all the food that we've brought to the table, there there has to be at least one triple-tiered stand.
yes. Oh,
Like,
yes,
I
yes, yes,
feel
and we
like
can have all the little bites and mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. And then,
Yeah.
with that triple-tiered stand, maybe, like, 1 each, like, I have one, you have one, and it's got all the little, little treats and the tea sandwiches on there. Um,
Yes.
it's
Oh, like, all the little crackers and little scones and everything, and
mhm.
mhm.
It's all
Yeah.
bite-sized, you just, like we're having tea and sipping it, having a bite, sipping it.
Yeah. Yeah, have, like and maybe have, like, a little bowl of strawberries, a little bowl of raspberries on the side,
Mhm. Clotted
just
cream.
yes, oh my gosh, yes, and I just imagine, like, taking the teapot and just pouring a little spot of tea here and there, and I imagine it being somewhere in, like, a gazebo or something,
Mhm.
somewhere that's kind of open to the nice fresh air, but you're still enclosed a little bit.
Yeah, ch
Fairy lights up above,
oh,
it's
very nice.
intertwined with ivy. I
Uh-huh.
think that would be gorgeous.
Yes.
And any kinda, like, Beatrix Potter kind of vibes would
Uh-huh.
suit me just fine,
Mhm.
maybe just, like, some wildflowers in bunches all
Mhm.
over. Maybe we could have, like, a little craft of some sort, like, maybe we're, like, doing some watercolor or
Mhm.
something, very much like Beatrix Potter would do in the
Right.
openings of those videos.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think that this sounds like just the most wonderful tea party.
I know, and it's so nice to be able to enjoy this tea party with you, even though we're hundreds of miles away from each other.
Sitting in our offices and
Uh-huh.
and it's not necessarily a nice, beautiful 72-degree day outside that is cool and breezy, but also kinda sunny.
Yeah,
So yeah, we live vicariously through our imaginations, and
and we
it is
bring it to
important
you.
yes. Use your imaginations, people, it's great.
Oh.
But yes, I had a lovely tea time with you today. Thank you very much for sitting down with me and talking about all kinds of wonderful spring bakes. Do you like out of all the things that we talked about today that you would like to have on our tea time table? What do you think you would want to try out? Like if you could pick like one, two, three things that you'd want to try, you know,
To
if
try
anything.
making,
Yeah.
within the next, month.
Yeah, yeah, like, basically, what have we discussed today that you would like to enjoy as part of the springtime energy, fun, etcetera, of the season?
I actually wanna try this, strawberry rhubarb upside down cake that you mentioned.
I will send you the recipe. That was from the baking Bible, and I am so sorry that I can't remember the name of the person who wrote it or the people who wrote it. My apologies, but I will send you the recipe.
Yes. Yeah, I wanna try that. How about you? Like, what did we discuss today that you might wanna try your hand
Mhm. I mean, definitely the strawberry rhubarb upside down cake, but also the cheesy herby crackers. I think that with the sourdough discard sounds really good. I've been wanting to make that for the last couple weeks, to be honest.
Yeah,
So
that sounds like yeah, you've got to send that to me as well.
I will. Yeah, I think those will be some really great ways to usher in this spring season and everything that it has to offer. So I hope that everybody listening has a wonderful spring and hopefully you get to kind of sit down, slow down, enjoy it, and enjoy some really delicious things to eat alongside it too.
Yeah,
So, hooray.
yeah. Well, thanks for joining, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. We will see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. That's it for this episode of Cozy Kitchen.
We're so glad you stopped by. We can't wait till the next time you join us by the fire. See
See you
you later.
later.